Good evening, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed your meal and some conversation. On behalf of the School of Education's Alumni Board of Directors, it's my pleasure to welcome you to this year's Distinguished Alumni Award banquet. I'd like to take a moment to recognize my fellow board members in attendance tonight. Will all of the current and past board members, please stand. Thank you for your service to the School of Education and to Indiana University. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the Dean of the Indiana University's School of Education, Dr. Webb. Dean Watson is Provost Professor in the School of Education and in the Department of African American and African Diaspora Studies in the College of Arts and Sciences. Leader, literary scholar, executive coach, mindfulness teacher, philanthropist, poet, minister, and strategist. Lem is recognized as a systemic and psychosocial development scholar and researcher on issues of underrepresented groups, men and lives of children, LGBTQ, talent management, spirituality, and mindful leadership. He's been a frequent presenter at national conferences and has collaborated internationally with executives, teachers, and administrators in more than 20 countries. He recently returned from China, where he formalized a partnership with Beijing Normal University. He's a Fulbright Scholar to Belarus and was awarded the U.S. Embassy Policy Specialist Fellowship by the International Research and Exchanges Board to conduct research on the impact of the Georgia Institute of Public Affairs. Lem was a senior research fellow at the C. Houston Center at Clemson University and research fellow at the Institute for Southern Studies at the University of South Carolina. He has authored or co-authored 7 books and monographs and served as editor for several volumes related to educational leadership and administration, human development, public policy, K-12 issues, and higher education. He's also Distinguished Professor, Dean Emeritus, and founding Executive Director of the Center for Innovation in Higher Education at the University of South Carolina. He's the founding Executive Director of the Center for P20 Engagement and former Dean of the College of Education at Northern Illinois University. He's actively engaged in the greater community as a personal and professional advocate through membership on several arts, community, educational, and numerous professional boards. Lem received his doctoral degree in higher education and policy right here at IU School of Education. He received his master's in adult and student development at Ball State and his bachelor's degree in management at the Darla Moore School of Business in the University of South Carolina. We are extremely fortunate to have Lem Watson as our Dean. Please join us in welcoming Dean Lem Watson.
Good afternoon, good evening to all of you. I'm always so honored and humbled to be here, and I'm always so thankful for everyone's contributions, and always so thankful that you come out to be with us on a fall and rainy day, and so thank you. And thank you, Sandy, for your introduction. I always ask myself sometimes, who is that person? But that's what a type A personality gets you. So I really needed the mindfulness training when I got it. So it is a life worth living, and the gratitude for that. I am honored to be here with all of you on this special night. As Dean of the Indiana University School of Education, I have the privilege of working with tremendously talented faculty, staff, and students who are truly making a difference in the world and here at home. Through their outstanding work, the School of Education literally touches every corner of the globe, from our deep relationships supporting rural and urban schools here in Indiana, and our effort to support women in education in South Sudan, from placing students, teachers in the Chicago Public Schools, the Navajo Nation, community, and 18 countries around the world, to providing counseling support for underserved middle school children right here in Bloomington. In these ways and so many more, our School of Education is tackling the most pressing issues of our day. Indeed, we are making a difference and impact in the world. But nothing makes me more proud of our accomplishments than our alumni. Over 55,000 strong and living around the world and in the community. It is the work of these talented and dedicated individuals that make the world a better place through the power of education and their experiences here. Tonight we gather to honor 4 such alumni who have dedicated their lives to doing just that. These individuals have excelled in their professional and civic lives, and in so doing have brought great pride to the School of Education here at Indiana University. Before we honor this year's awardees, I would like to recognize some special guests tonight. First, I'd like to thank tonight's musicians, the Jacob School Music Jazz Trio, for their work. Let's give them a hand. We have Brandon Tuberg, who's on bass. Brandon, would you wave? Thank you. We have Jason Scriber, he's on drums. And Garrett Spelloff, who is on keyboard. Thank you again. And I'm also very proud to have 3 very handsome and domineering deans from the School of Education. We have Don Warren, who's my dean. Don, thank you for being here. Gerardo Gonzalez, thank you, Gerardo. And Terry Mason, thank you. I would also like to take a moment to recognize the Executive Associate Dean, who is also here tonight, and Jeanette Dellenchel. So would you please just say hi to everyone? Thank you. We have Nancy Hamblin, is a former national chair of the IU Alumni Association, right here. We also have several former members of the university's senior leadership team with us tonight, whom I'd like to recognize. Terry Clappax, Indiana University Vice President Emeritus. Dick McKay, former Vice Provost of Student Affairs. And Edwin Marshall, former Vice President of Diversity, Equity, and Multicultural Affairs, who also received the DASA Award, the Distinguished Alumni Award from the university this year, correct? We're pleased to have you all with us tonight, so thank you for joining us in this wonderful occasion. Again, it is such an honor to serve as your dean, to be with such accomplished alumni. Without the work of individuals like those just recognized, our reach would be more narrow and our impact less significant. But it goes without saying that the heart of this school is our talent and committed students and faculty. Several of our students, current faculty, and emeriti faculty are with us tonight as well. Please accept our appreciation for all you have done and will continue to do to serve the School of Education Thank you for your leadership and tireless contributions to the School of Education. Thank you. So let's begin the recognition. The first recipient we honor tonight is David Ambler. Dr. Ambler embodies a spirit of leadership, kindness, and commitment to improving the college experience for all students. After serving as a member of the Dean of Student Staff here at IU, he worked his way up the ranks to student affairs officials to become a greatly respected professional, colleague, and mentor. In 1966, he became Assistant Dean of Men at Kent State University, where in 4 years, he would come face to face with the unimaginable, the May 14th massacre, helping reopen and restore confidence in the university following this historic tragedy. 3 months later, he became Vice President for Student Affairs. Dave was just 33 years old or young when he obtained his position, which made him one of the youngest people ever appointed to Chief Student Affairs position at a major state university. In 1977, he was appointed Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs at the University of Kansas. His belief that all student leadership, there must be an administrator who is willing to listen and stand up for their dreams, lead to recognition of the university's division of student affairs as one of the best in the country. He recruited an incredible team and developed a supportive culture that created an engaged student. An engaged student experience. His energy for student success has widely reached and been practiced through his mentorship and continued communication between Dave and his former students and staff members. He is revered by peers and mentees as a legend at KU, a legacy that was solidified when the Student Recreational Center was named in his honor in 2007. Dave served as a 3-year term as president of the Foundation of the National Association for Student Personnel Administrators. He is one of only 14 recipients of the NASPA's James Blackburn Distinguished Pillars of the Profession Award, the foundation's highest honor. His level of tenacity is indicative of the reasons why any of us enter the field of education, to enrich the lives of young people in ways that will impact them forever. The accolades including the various awards and recognitions that Dr. Ambler has received over the years, serve as a testament to his ability to resonate positively with students and staff. Dave, you are truly a pioneer and an inspiration. All who know you speak your sincerity and of kind-heartedness for you, and it is our honor to recognize you as Indiana University School of Education Distinguished Alumnus. Yes, you can say a few words.
Dean Webb, and members of the Alumni Association School of Education, thank you very much. There's no honor better than one given by your alma mater, particularly if you spent your career in higher education. But I think maybe the school has overdone it with me. This is the second time they've called me a distinguished alumni. In 1987, I received the Robert H. Schaefer Distinguished Alumni Award from the program in higher education and student affairs administration. A great honor, since Robert H. Schaefer was like another father to me. If in 1955, when I was a freshman here, you had said to me, someday this university will honor you not once but twice, I would have questioned where your marbles were located. Because at that time I was absolutely concerned that I might not make it. Wasn't convinced that a young man, first generation student from Northwest Indiana industrial area, a blue collar family, really had the monkey to be successful here. But it was the environment of this university, it was the program of this university, it was the academics. Most of all, it was the persons of this university who gave me the courage, helped me develop a little more self-confidence and self-esteem to go on, not only finish that bachelor's degree, but you earn 2 other degrees here at the University of Kansas. My emphasis on the people of Indiana is very important to me. People like Bob Schaefer, up to and including a friendship with Herman Wells that lasted from my sophomore year when I had an accidental meeting with him and he asked me my name, my hometown, my major, and my year in school. Every year after that, we would have a chance meeting, and usually with his mother, and Herman would introduce me again saying, do you remember Dave Ambler? He's from Hammond. He's a business major, and this year he's probably a junior. That went on till in about 1997, I think, Dick invited me back to be part of the Interfraternity Institute here in the summer. And Herman had to be in his 90-half years. And suddenly at the opening banquet, they rolled Dr. Wells in his wheelchair and sat him right next to me. And he claimed that he still remembered my name, my hometown, my major, and what I did here at KU. In fact, when I arrived at Kent State University, when I left here, there was a letter waiting for me from Dr. Wells, thanking me for my service to IU and wishing me well in my new assignment. An incredible man who's never been equaled at any university that I know of. If one thing Indiana did for me besides give me the courage and the confidence to go forward, it was endow me with a strong belief in the role of public higher education in our democracy. Our democracy cannot succeed without a strong public education system, and that's now under more threat than it's been in many, many years. My passion for Indiana, for all of higher education, is that we continue to make educational opportunity available to working class, first generation students like me, where the world is opened up to you. Everything that I am, everything that I ever hope to be, I owe to Indiana University. Thank you very much for this incredible.
Thank you for those comments. Mary, Katie, you know, my brain went. What's that? Cheryl, yes. Mary, Katie, Cheryl, and Natalie and Judy are just outstanding staff. And I want to just take a moment so that everyone will know just it is this group of people to make this work every year. And I just want to take a moment to, let's just thank them for all that they do. Thanks. The other thing that I'm constantly thinking about too is, why do we do this every year when I come back from an international trip? Last year it was Ireland, this year is China, and having to run on whatever you call it and get through this is really important, but I think I would enjoy it much better if I could come back from an international trip. So let's move on. Our next honoree is Carole Ames. Dr. Carole Ames has distinguished herself nationally and internationally as an educational researcher, academic, and well-respected voice among her peers across the country. After receiving two degrees from Indiana University, Carole went on to obtain her PhD from Purdue. Before joining the faculty at the University of Maryland and later the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. In these roles, she became a leading scholar on development of social and academic motivation. In August of 1993, she left her position as chair of the Department of Educational Psychology at U of I to take the helm of Michigan State University, where she loyally served for 18 years to become the longest serving dean at the College of Education, and indeed probably one of the longest serving deans for any college of education. There's only one other person I know, and that person served at the University of Chicago. So you did good, you did good. Carole embraced the role of dean with keen insights, effective strategy, and high standards. She was responsible for improving the reputation of the college, enhancing the quality of the student body, and advancing the national and international recognition of faculty and their research. She is credited with strengthening the school through periods of school reform, shifting priorities, and a revolution in technological development. Under her leadership, the school developed programs that still today continue to prepare scholars and practitioners for challenges facing students. In specialities such as school psychology and exercise physiology, and across more than 15 academic areas, she established the Office of K-12 Outreach and Educational Policy Center. She did this in order to respond to areas of high needs, such as improving the U.S. outcome of math and science education, supporting the needs of low-performing schools in Michigan, and connecting educators and policymakers with research data with critical decision at its stake. Her lasting presence in the field has helped MSU maintain its stature, especially in the face of increasing critics against traditional teacher education programs. The strength of the college owes much of the courage, the guidance, and the passion that Carole devoted to leading it for nearly 2 decades. She remains a committed supporter of IU and the School of Education, serving at the request of President McRobbie in 2015 as chair of the Blue Ribbon Panel Committee on Education Review. As part of IU's bicentennial strategic plan, it is my privilege to have her expert guidance on the Dean's Advisory Board, as she has held for nearly 4 years. Carole, you have been a mentor and a guiding light for me, and so I really appreciate all that you've done. You're truly a force in the field of higher education, and we're delighted to recognize you as Indiana University School of Education Distinguished Alumni. So I was taking her job. She told me to. One more.
Thank you so much. Well, I too want to thank the School of Education Alumni Association and Dean Watson for this award. It's very special. And I also want to give a special thanks to Nancy Ambler, who I know you had a special role in this nomination, so thank you very much. I'll be brief, but I do want to share with you what the IU and the School of Education has meant to me. I found myself at IU after attending a small 2-year women's college. And at that time, I had wanted to follow my roommate. After 2 years at a women's college, I wanted to follow my roommate to the University of Miami in Florida. She assured me that our social life would indeed blossom. And we only needed to pack swimsuits and shorts. My mother, however, would have none of this, and she squashed my dreams and my plans. But it was also unfortunate at this time that I found that my father was seriously ill and I needed to stay close to home. And although I lived in Illinois, IU was close. It was close enough. And at that time, IU was very generous in granting me a very late admission because of my circumstance. And I owe IU a debt of gratitude for that, and always will. And yes, it was the best decision my mother ever made for me. So I arrived at IU and I majored in psychology. But I realized in my senior year, what do you do with a major in psychology? So my roommate, another roommate, she was in education. She was going to become a teacher. So she said, why don't you go over to education and take a look? So I went and I explored education, and I entered the master's program in college student personnel. But I also took a lot of courses in educational psychology, and I was offered a research assistantship in educational psychology, and that became my focus and became part of my career. At the time that I completed my master's degree, the School of Education was awarded a research center funded by the Office of Special Education. It was named the Center for Innovation in Teaching the Handicapped, and Dr. Sam Guskin was one of the directors of that center and founded that center. I was invited to come to the center as a full-time research associate, and I worked there for 3 years. The purpose of the center was to study mainstreaming of special education students. Research that predated federal policies related to mainstreaming and inclusion. But what I witnessed through my experience is the tremendous discrepancies in children's opportunities and motivation to learn because of the special education assignment. And this classification was many times a consequence of poverty as much as other disabilities. While at IU, I also met my husband, who was a grad student in Ed Psych. And we were together for 47 years before his passing 2 years ago. He was my partner, my collaborator, and supporter. And at IU, I benefited from many colleagues and friendships that have lasted me throughout my career. Coming to IU and the experiences and the opportunities afforded to me in the School of Education and the Research Center created a new trajectory for both my career and my life. Over the years, it has also been my privilege to serve on the Board of Visitors of the School of Education, beginning with the tenure of Don Warren, who invited me to come on to the Board of Visitors. Thank you, Don. That really connected me back to the college. And my allegiance has continued to grow through the engagement and respect that I have for the subsequent deans, Gerardo, Terry, and now Lem. To IU and the School of Education, it's my gratitude. I owe you my gratitude and genuine loyalty. My loyalty will never fade. I couldn't be more proud of the degrees that I have from Indiana University and thankful for the opportunities that were made possible to me here. Thank you so much for this award. It really means a lot. Thank you.
We're darn good here at Indiana. We really are. I would like to just take a moment now to recognize our interim Assistant Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Carole Darnell. Would you please stand and be recognized? Our third recipient of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award is Dr. Marilyn Friend. Dr. Friend is a highly sought after leader in collaboration, co-teaching, conducting conferences, workshops, and in-service days throughout the country. She is a master at encouraging teachers to try new strategies, to teach students with special needs in general education classrooms, and helping teachers collaborate and co-teach more effectively. She began her career in elementary and junior high education in 1975 upon graduating from Butler University. While a lecturer in education at Indiana University, Purdue University in Indianapolis, she obtained her PhD in special education with minors in elementary education and psychology. In 1992, she became assistant professor of special education at the University of Oklahoma, where she would inspire teachers through her engaging style of presentation, extensive knowledge, and sharp insights. Marilyn began serving as professor and chair in the Department of Special Education Services at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro in 1999. Throughout her entire career, she committed to research and development of providing all students equal opportunity in the classroom. She has published 60 articles, contributed to many more, and has served as a consultant to various school districts and related agencies, typically including professional development for teachers, administrators, and related service personnel. She has given over 3,000 presentations and workshops contributing to enhancing classroom settings. Wow. Most importantly, I want to note the quality of her contributions. Dr. Friend's 4 books have gone through multiple editions and reached almost 1 million readers. Co-teaching, an illustration of the complexity of collaboration in special education, an article for which she is the lead author, has been seen by almost 40,000 people, more than any other article in the Journal of Educational Psychology Consultation, and in 20 years of publication. That's an amazing accomplishment. Marilyn, you are truly a leader to all by example. And your commitment to and passion for the preparation of teachers to best serve the needs of each and every student is imperishable. It is my honor to recognize you as an IU School of Education Distinguished Alumni.
Sandy and I have known each other for many years. Oh, she's moving.
Okay. You want us to move over? Okay, let's get over here.
We can handle this. Sorry, here we go. How about that? Thank you very much. I feel very special, I have to tell you. Every person in this room has a story. And tonight, some of our stories are being told, but I suspect there are other people here whose stories will be very compelling. I feel my own story is a mosaic of millions of moments, just as everybody's is. But the foundation of my mosaic comes from my family. And I am from the region. We share something in common. Not Hammond, but unincorporated Ross Township, which is now Marilyn. So the same area. And that mosaic includes all of the mortar and all of the important parts, because I am from an excruciatingly and exquisitely typical family from that time. Dad worked in the steel mill, shift work. Mom stayed at home. Mom is here. Mom is proudly 91 years old. Valedictorian of her high school class. She never had a chance to go to college. She tells all of her friends and her children once in a while that she lives vicariously through us. My father passed away many years ago, but the rest of that foundation came from my siblings. My sister Judy passed away a while ago as well, but my brother Dan is here, and Dan is, oh, he was the character in our family. I do remember, I have to tell you, I remember one time when he was young, he came home with wet feet after being told exclusively not to go in that mud puddle. And he came in the house saying, boy, it's hot up there. I was really sweating, so much my feet were sweating. That's my brother Dan. You should know that he also has a degree from Indiana University in the School of Business. And his commitment exemplifies our family. He flew in this morning to O'Hare from his business in Tokyo. and drove down here in this rain from O'Hare today to be here. That's our And I would be remiss if I did not mention Cindy, his wife, who brought Mom down. Our logistics were a little bit complicated, so thank you, Cindy, I appreciate it. And of course, the rest of the mosaic continues. After the beginning, of course, you have your life partner. My husband, Bruce Brandon, who is here. And Bruce is the person who supports me and is my partner and my friend and my true love. And we have been through thick and thin, we have been through joy, and we have been through tragedy together. And we're together, just as many of you have a significant person in your life. And you know that the two of you are better than either one of you could ever be by yourselves. Thanks, sweetheart. I have to tell you, I brought my posse tonight. That's I'm trying to be serious, but it's really fun. And then the next chunk, when you look at all of those little pieces, education, of course, is very much part of it. And while, yes, I have my undergraduate degree from Butler, my master's and my PhD program are from IU. And Carole, where are you? The Center for Innovation in Teaching the Handicap is where I also was grounded in terms of my doctoral work. And I was absolutely shocked when I was told that they would pay for it. And so I came to IU having carefully budgeted that I might be able to come full-time for a year, and was able to go through my program. I had the John Edwards Scholarship to finish my dissertation, and so IU completely supported me. And in that work, Sam was co-chair of my dissertation with Dr. Herbert Reith, if you remember her, and they taught me how to think, they taught me how to be precise, they taught me to stand and be the person that I needed to be in my profession. And for that, I'm eternally grateful to them. Now, I have to mention that Sam and Susan Klein nominated me for this award. And I have to mention Susan for something very specific. When I was a doctoral student at IU, most of the faculty were men. And my dissertation committee included Herb and Sam and Dr. Ken Heller and also Dr. Jim Walton. And when it was time to defend my dissertation, Susan showed up. And I was like, cool, that's really nice. And then she said to me, you're a woman, and a woman should not have to defend her dissertation without a woman in the room. And so thank you, Susan. And so in many ways, what Indiana University School of Education gave me were the wings that I needed to become the person that I am today and the professional that I am. When I was a doctoral student, my interest was not in something that was typical. It may be hard to believe right now if you're active in the field of education, but what I really wanted to pursue was collaboration among the educators, especially as it pertained to special education. Today, I affectionately say my area of expertise is collaboration, which I subtitle, How Do You Get the Adults in Schools to Keep Acting Like Grown-Ups? Which is, if you're an educator, you'll understand that, and I think the students are laughing because they know what I'm talking about. By having my grounding at this university in this school of education, I really had what I needed to pursue that, even when it was not a popular topic. That's sort of how I ended up with the psychology minor, because I needed that background. And that led me to a variety of university positions. I often got bored. I went from the University of Oklahoma to Northern Illinois University, back to IUPUI. I was at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro because, you have to move once in a while. And through all of that, what I learned is that by keeping one foot in schools, I could really pursue the passion of trying to help the adults who were in schools really make it right for students with disabilities and other special needs and enable them to reach their potential. I am very, very grateful for this award. Thank you so much. I'm grateful for the people who wrote letters for me, some from Indiana, including Ann Schnepp, who recently retired as a director in Clark County, special ed director, some people know her, and Jolly Pearsall, who is associated with the Indiana IEP Resource Center. Thank you very, very much. I can't tell you how grateful I am, how humbled I am. I hope as you think of your own mosaics and your own history, you also find that you can put those pieces together And now I find that many times I'm trying to pay it forward. And that's my wish right now. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, I want to say we really have a lot to be thankful for and to be very proud of in the School of Education. And I like the fact that you're fierce, and we continue to be fierce with equity, social justice, and where all of those issues that remember that we're connected through our humanness and love for each other. I think that's really important, and that we continue that value in this particular school. So thank you again for standing up for the things that needed to be stood up for. Thank you. Our final recipient tonight is Dr. Carole Schuster Webb. Dr. Webb is a transformative leader with a passion for improving the lives of others through the power of education. Her outstanding contributions to the field of higher education span nearly 4 decades and reflects her remarkable leadership skills and an unwavering passion for academic quality, student success, and diversity. Some of her earliest contributions to the field were made at Indiana University, her 3-time alma mater. With Dr. Christine Bennett, she developed our school's first multicultural education course, an urban field experience. She also served as the assistant director of the school's Learning Center. After her brief time teaching at IU, Carole taught at several other institutions of higher education, namely at the University of Kentucky, George Washington University, and Howard University, all the while accepting positions of increasing responsibility. She assumed her first deanship at Southern University and is now president of the Union Institute and University System. Perhaps the most noteworthy of her abilities is her capacity and capability to competently lead schools that promote equity of access to higher education to students of color, immigrant communities, and non-traditional students. Carole has dedicated her career to empowering those, especially women, who aspire to higher education leadership. Among her numerous awards honoring her and her advocacy for leadership, inclusive leadership, that is, and mentoring, she was named as one of the top 25 women in education, higher education. And this was by the Diversity magazine in 2016. As a reflection of her commitment to addressing women's issues in higher education, Carole has been named chair of the American Council of Education's Women's Network Executive Council. She was also named the presidential sponsor for the ACE Women Network in Ohio. While Dr. Webb has built an exemplary career, what is truly remarkable is her dedication to support those around her, exuding an unparalleled warmth and compassion. Exuding, that is, not excluding. Helping others grow personally and professionally is of critical importance to her, which makes her passion for community all the more evidence. Carole, you're a light. You're an inspiration. Your commitment to uplifting those around you continues to be felt across the country. And we're delighted to recognize you as an Indiana University School of Education Distinguished Alumni.
Good evening, and thank you for those kind remarks, Dean Watson, and thank you to the alumni directors for this honor. I am humbled, and I am very, very grateful to Dr. Rose Mays, who is the person who nominated me for this great honor. I'm also so pleased to celebrate with my children who are here today, my daughter Ramona and son Wallace, both of whom were born in Bloomington. I defended my dissertation when Ramona was 3 months old. So Bloomington, we are all coming back. And at that table are classmates of mine from my undergraduate days. They know me as a teenager, do not talk to any of them. And then also dear friends, I also see classmates and mentors, and I appreciate all who are here. My journey at Indiana University began as an undergraduate, and I told my parents after the first snowstorm I was coming home. I was from Nashville, Tennessee at the time. I had not been any place that cold. They told me I had to stay because they paid the tuition. And so I stayed. But really, someone who was very much a part of my deciding to stay was Dr. Herman B. Wells. He saw me walk across the campus and came up to me as he did to many students and talked about the virtue of Indiana University, and so I stayed. But it was when I came to the School of Education that I attained the confidence and the competence that would take me throughout my career. It was in the class, my very first class, of the late Professor Harry Bradman. And he said to us, when you finish this program, you will be able to go anywhere in the world and start an English program with funds, without funds, by yourself, with a team, with books, without books, with resources, without resources, because you will be a graduate of Indiana University School of Education, and we will give you in this program the tools and the skill set to do it. And he was correct. And I thank him for it. Also Professor Beverly Hartford, and I see classmates who are here today who experienced that. So as I have gone on, my first class had 47 second grade students in it, 40 of whom were beginning to learn English and were thought that they needed to be somewhere else because they ranged in age from 7 to 13. I said, no, this is a language problem. This is not a cognitive problem, and we were able to move ahead. And then later, I went to Lyon International University and I was hired to start a school of education. And they said, don't worry, we will have faculty for you. We will have 200 students for you, and you'll be able to just move ahead. We'll have all of our programs state approved. I went there, and there was something that happened. The president decided to buy another university. So there were no 200 students, no faculty. I was given an office with a computer and telephone, and told, all right, go ahead and start a school of education. And I'm saying that's what Dr. Bradman meant with no resources. by yourself, no team. And we went ahead and we started with 5 very courageous students and ended with 1,200 by the time I left. That confidence, the courage and faith given to me by my parents and family, that has taken me forward with the love and support and encouragement of my children who have been with me all the way. And so when I think of Indiana University, not only those special times, the hard work, the degree that has taken me all over the world. I met my late husband here at Indiana, and as I said, my children were here, so this is a special place. But I also think of Indiana University in Bloomington, in this School of Education, as a place of dreams. And so I'm reminded of Langston Hughes's poem, one of the stanzas, or two of the stanzas from the poem Dreams. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, Life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. And so Indiana University has held many dreams. It continues to hold dreams. It is the dreams that will be there in the future. And for me, it also gave me that confidence to pursue my passion of equity for excellence in higher education, which has led me to the leadership of Union Institute University, which is an institution committed to social justice. So as I think of those dreams, and as I think of Indiana University, they are one and the same because they certainly helped me to attain mine. Thank you so much, and thank you.
Before Cindy comes to the podium tonight, I also just want to let you know that we have an outstanding chalkboard coming out for you, as well as an annual report where you will learn many things about what we're doing here. But I just want to say again that it has been exciting to be amongst the recipients tonight. And it just shows that here at Indiana, there's a lot to hold up with expectations. As a dean, it becomes even more important to make sure that we're pushing ahead, continuing to reinvigorate, and not being too complacent. And so, thank you for being a part of this journey with us, and thank you for your support. Sandy?
It's my task tonight to say good night and safe travels. I would like to add that I've heard from the recipients tonight that this is a very special place, Indiana University and the School of Education. And as a graduate of this place, I think we all can say this is a very special place. And tonight, I think we celebrate that. We celebrate Indiana University, and we celebrate the 4 recipients who I'm very honored to have been in the room with tonight. So thank you for being here. I believe that there will be pictures on stage of the recipients, and so if they want to have pictures taken up here, that will happen after everyone leaves. You do not have to leave. You can finish your dessert or have another one. But thank you very much for coming tonight.